my wife and I were trying to sell our home for about 5 or 6 years. I'm not sure how long. But we had a ranch. It was an 8,000 square foot house, roughly, and 21 acres, and a barn and outbuildings, and it was a lot of work. And time don't make life easier for you. So it was time for us to sell. Only we couldn't get anybody that could sell it. So one of our friends doing real estate work and said, "Oh, I can sell it for you." And that was about it. We didn't see or hear from them much. We would call them and very rarely get a reply or an answer. So I'm not going to say it. We were sitting home one night when I got a phone call. And it was from this fella that says to me, "Are you still interested in selling your house? Because I can sell it." And I started to laugh, of course. So I said, "Hang on just a minute, because I have to ask my wife if she still wants to sell it." So I asked her. I said, "Do you want to sell the house?" She said, "Where'd that come from?" I said, "The guy on the phone. He said he could sell it." So she says, "Well, let's see." So I said, "Okay, we'll sell it." So he says, "When can we meet?" I said, "Now." He was over around half hour later. And we sat down, talked. He explained everything to us, which was more than most of them did. And he was very efficient in what he was doing. He knew what we had to know, and he knew what he had to know. And it was a lot of fun to be with. We joked and kidded around and had a good time together. And we were quite pleased with Steve, and were wondering if we were going to hear from him again. Well, lo and behold, our phone kept ringing, and it was, "Steve, how's everything going? And, I'm coming over to do this, I'm coming over to check that, and I'm taking pictures here, and I'm taking pictures there." And he did all the legwork, everything. It was really a pleasure. We didn't have to do hardly anything. All of a sudden, we started to have people come and look at the house, which we weren't used to. And the people would come out, and the people would go. And I kept saying to Steve, because he used to come over for coffee sometimes and talk. And I said to him, "Well," I said, "you haven't sold the house yet." And I said, "What's your plans now?" He says to me, "Don't you worry, I'll sell that house." I said, "Okay." Well, down the road a bit, he brought some people down to look at the house, and that was a washout. And then another fella showed up with that Steve knew, and he brought some people in to look at it, and they made an offer, and we weren't too happy with it. But Steve convinced us that we were, at the time, the right time to sell the house. So we went ahead and took his advice, which we felt was, and still feel, was good advice. But we sold the house, and now we had nowhere to live. So he found us another house to go buy and live in, so that's where we are now. We're living in what we call the Miller Road house. So we have a nice little house, about a little less than half the size of the other one, but it's still a good size house. And Steve was, what I have to say is that Steve was an insurance broker that worked on selling your house. What did I say, insurance? Okay, real estate broker that worked to sell your house. He wasn't one that just said, okay, I'll put you on the listings and I'll take care of you. Steve was there. He came out with whoever he had to look at the house. He always made sure everything was up to snuff. And as far as we're concerned, probably the best real estate broker we've had in our time of selling any houses. So, I mean, we moved from New York, and I wouldn't give you 2 cents for the fella that sold a house in New York. I wouldn't give you 2 cents for this fella that sold us the ranch. But I'd give you a nickel for the guy that sold it for us. It was well worth it, and we appreciate him very much and thank him very much for it.